The most abundant natural resource on the planet has the power to sustain life and destroy it. Gerald Campbell from Lee County Emergency Management warns about the danger of storm surge.
Because elevation rises so slowly in southwest Florida, we're actually in one of the most storm surge vulnerable areas in the country, if not the world.
So think how far out you could walk in the Gulf of Mexico. The shallow shelf makes us more susceptible to storm surge than the East Coast, where the water gets deeper quicker.
I like to tell people storm surge is like water sloshing out of a bathtub.
Meteorologist Robert Van Winkle says the force of wind around a storm builds energy and pushes water toward the shore.
And once it's pushed closer to the coast, it doesn't have anywhere else to go but out of the Gulf.
4 years ago, Hurricane Katrina produced 25 feet of storm surge. What would happen if a similar storm hit southwest Florida? This is the new Charlotte Harbor Event Center. It sits 11 feet above sea level. In the case of a massive Category 4 or Category 5 hurricane where you had potentially 25 feet of storm surge, there's a good chance you would see salt water above these windows. You wouldn't be able to get across the Sanibel Causeway. Span C is 18 feet above sea level where it meets the island. 25 feet of surge brings water 7 feet above the road. City Hall in Naples is approximately 11 feet above sea level. A Hurricane Katrina-type storm would bring water 14 feet high on the building.
Most structures will not survive that kind of exposure. If you're in that structure when that happens, there's a good chance that you won't survive.
But what about Hurricane Charlie 5 years ago? Destructive, yes, but it didn't produce much storm surge.
No two hurricanes are alike. So Charlie, being a Cat 4, was actually a very atypical Cat 4. I'll show you what I mean.
Robert says Charlie didn't push more salt water on land because its relatively small eye moved quickly.
If Charlie would have been a big Cat 4, it would have had a huge wind field. See the difference? And a huge eye. More water would have been pushed out of the Gulf.
And just because you live inland, away from the coast, doesn't mean you're safe.
The river actually acts as a conduit to help bring water higher, farther inland, so that even in places like Alva, we can see higher storm surge in some cases than we do on the coast.
Your only protection? Elevation. That means evacuating when you know there's potential for surge. Chad Oliver, NBC2.